Welcome back to my channel. So tonight I want to discuss with you the Theo Vonn episode with Joe Rogan and how weird it really was. There's a point where your friends will say to you, like, are you okay? Are you doing all right? And some people might think like, oh yeah, maybe they're really asking that. But generally it's like a very high form of gaslighting. And Joe Rogan is doing that. One of the scenes in the episode is where Theo Vonn says Palantir has drone technology with facial recognition, and Joe Rogan's just like, are you saying they have facial recognition on drones? And then he asks Jamie, he's like, Jamie, is that true? And then he's just like, oh, Jamie won't even answer these questions. So if you were wondering in the episode, like, were they flying too close to the sun? For sure. And even Joe Rogan was being uncomfortable. And this ties into today is the day that Donald Trump and Zoran Mamdani met in the Oval Office. And in that exchange as well, they're very chummy with each other. No, it doesn't seem that like there's any visible resentment. Trump says, I'm glad my voters voted for Mamdani, blah, 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 blah. And what I think this means is that a lot of the stuff going on today is theater. Like Joe Rogan saying, oh, is there facial recognition on there? You think the government really is doing that? You think they're really doing this? You think they're really doing that? And I feel that if you're like me, you've been watching all your life different actors, maybe black ones, where they appear like they're very unstable, like Martin Lawrence running in the alley, Michael Jackson seeming very agitated. And I feel like Theo Vonn also seems like he's agitated. And I feel like Joe Rogan also says to him, like, hey, do you need a friend? But in real life, you're very hard to talk to. And also Brendan Schaub used to do a podcast with Theo Vonn, and Theo Vonn, according to Brendan, was very, very distant and very up and down. So I feel like, if you're like me, you saw a masterclass in Theo Vonn being gaslit. I also feel like Theo Vonn, with the things he said and says, has now made him blacklisted. And he says this little thing about JFK in there, which some country did the JFK thing. And yeah, I think that they're done with Theo Vonn, and now it's just time to make him look as stupid as possible. And also go back, check some of my videos before. I have been talking about how Joe Rogan now is super aligned with these billionaire Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. And when the question is asked to these billionaire people, like, do you think humans have a place in the future? And they don't jump up and say for sure, then what do you think people think about you and your family? Do you think that you even matter to them? And there's this video I seen that popped up on my thumbnail by this professor, this Asian professor guy. He has a lot of videos out, and one of the things he talked about was the rise of the Hellenistic era or something like that. So I just went onto Grok and I typed in what is Hellenism in simplest terms, and what it said was that basically you have to take control of your own life and be happy in the areas that you can be like super localized, and don't worry about like the big external factors. And I feel like Theo Vonn is definitely team humanity, and Joe Rogan isn't there. And I don't think Joe Rogan appreciates what Theo's doing, and I think this is more of reading between the lines. That flu that came a few years ago, that whole stunt is over. It was pretty heavy at the time, and I feel like the next time something like that will happen, I don't think Joe Rogan or very many of these podcasters or streamers or anyone will really be there for the people. What's one way for sure to know that none of these streamers are for the people? Why do they all push betting? Why do all streamers, as even what's it called? Sam Tripoli, Joe Rogan, all these guys are pushing betting. And there's just something about that just makes me feel like when it comes into the betting world, it's just unlimited money. It's unlimited money, and it's just like, hey, celebrity guy, name your price. My price is this much. Okay, here you go. Here's your money. And it's very hard to say you're pushing for someone's well-being while advocating bets for them. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you.